and welcome to another Lightest and Best video where we look at a variety of knives from a variety of makers, and today I have a special treat for you. We're going to be examining the Clyde Challenor Talon knife. Clyde Challenor is a knife maker from Durban, South Africa. He's been making knives since 2014, and he's part of a team that makes his knives. Francis Nell helps with the design work, social media, and marketing. Luke Princeton helps with the CNC work and machining, and Blessing is his personal assistant. Clyde Challenor does the heat treating and hand grinding of the blades, the assembling of the knife, and the finishing work. All of the team members making these knives work only part-time. They have day jobs for the most part. And the Challenor team makes a variety of models. I want to discuss them here. The largest model they make is a Raptor RT that has a flipper design in a 4-inch blade configuration. Next is the Raptor 3, which has a 3.75-inch blade and is a flipper also. The Viper R is a 3.5-inch and is deployed from a front flipper. It also has a thumb hole for deployment. And the Scorpion XL is a 3.5-inch blade with a flipper design. The Talon is the one that I selected. It has a clip point blade, or a modified clip point blade. It is a blade of 3.25 inches and is a flipper, conventional flipper design. The Hornet 3 is a 3-inch knife with a front flipper configuration. It also has a thumb hole. The Hornet RT is a 3-inch front flipper. And lastly but not leastly, the Piranha is a larger 3-inch thumb hole opening knife that runs on phosphobronze washers. All the knives that come out of Clyde's shop hold a lifetime warranty. He stands behind his product. We'll talk about the specifications of the Talon. The Talon has a blade length of 3.25 inches and a handle length of 4.25 inches. The total knife length is 7.5 inches with a weight of 3.9 ounces. I have some other knives for comparison. Firstly, we have the Zero Tolerance 0562, which is a bit larger. We have the Ferrum Forge Intech, which is smaller. We have the Ontario Carter Prime, which is larger. We have the Spyderco Positron by Bad Southard, which is smaller. And lastly, we have the Zero Tolerance 0450, which is, I'm going to call it about the same size. Yeah, about the same size. The blade on the Talon is made from N390 steel and has a hollow ground. It has jimping on the posterior spine that is nice and subtle but gives you a good purchase. The knife configuration is a modified clip point. It has a straight clip point here, a straight clip point here. As you can tell, this should go up, but then this is clipped out so that you can have the purchase. And your thumb just fits there perfectly. The ergonomics feel so good on this blade. The blade is done in a beautiful hand-rubbed satin finish. He has different blades. One of my favorite that I wanted to show to you up in the right-hand corner, he makes a blade from dragon skin Damascus, which is possibly the coolest type of steel available for any blade. I think my grail knife would be a dragon skin Damascus blade with the fingerprint handle that he makes. He makes the Talon in a fingerprint handle that it has the lines and milling. It looks exactly like a fingerprint, and each one of the knives are differently. I would be interested to see if you send him a JPEG or GIF of your personal fingerprint, if he could mill that onto the handle, but he does some really cool things with the Talon. The method of deployment is by flipper and by thumb hole. The flipper is well forward of the pivot and has a great deployment angle, as you can see. It's about at 75 to 80 degrees. The D10 is strong too, which provides an excellent flipping action. You can also flip it from the thumb hole if that's your jam too. And I just want to point out the thumb hole is in the configuration. It looks like the eye of a raptor, and then this looks like the beak of a raptor, and that's the idea artistically of the knife. Is it's supposed to look like an eagle or a hawk or something like that. I think they did a great job in doing that. The handle of the knife is titanium with a carbon fiber inlay, and you can see the titanium has a fine bead blast on it that gives you a little bit of traction. The inlay is made in a variety of different materials. It's made of G10, micarta, carbon fiber, which is what I have, and this carbon fiber has a little bit of grip to it. I really like it. Lightning strike carbon fiber, Kevlar, Damasteel, and Timascus. I've also mentioned the fingerprint style of handle that they do. The pivot is on ceramic bearings, and the detent ball is made of ceramic too, and they have a ceramic ball for the bumper pad for the clip to protect the clip from getting scratched when it wanders around in your pocket. The proprietary pivot is one of my favorite pivots. It looks proprietary, but really its simplicity is beautiful. You can use a straight screwdriver. One side is to loosen it, the other side is to tighten it. It is possibly one of my favorite pivot designs. If you can combine aesthetic beauty with ease of operation, you have a great design, and Clyde Challenor nailed it on his pivot. It's a beautiful pivot on a beautiful knife. The knife locks up by a frame lock, as you can see. It locks up tightly and there's no blade play whatsoever. This frame lock has a lock bar insert that also functions as the over travel stop, and I don't know if you can get an appreciation for how perfectly placed that frame lock is. As you can tell, it's secured from the inside with a screw, and you see the outside of the end of the screw there. But this lock bar is so finely machined, it looks like it's painted on, and whenever you run your fingernail across it, you can barely detect that there is any joint there at all. It is perfectly placed and perfectly machined. The tolerances on this knife are just incredible. Let's talk about the pocket clip. It's a 3D machined pocket clip, and your pants fit in there well. The interesting thing about this one, and he doesn't place it on all of his pocket clips, he has a ceramic ball placed into this, and that's like a bumper. The ceramic has a Rockwell hardness of over 90, and it protects the clip from getting scratched when it's in your pocket if you rub against anything. And the pocket clip is also affixed by an internal screw. You can see it right there. I love the construction of this knife. It has a simple construction, 2 attachment points, the pivot, and then 1 standoff. Notice how broadly based the standoff is. It gives it a security. There is no wiggle in this knife whatsoever. The ergonomics of the knife are fantastic. It has a cutout for your first finger and then plenty of room for the rest. And it has a second dip on the cutout for the first finger, which allows you to access the lock bar and disengage the lock bar easily. The action of the knife is what I call South African smooth. It flips out like a rocket, and then you can shake it down into place easily. So what do I think about the Clyde Challenor Talon? I absolutely love it. It is easily going to be fitting into the top 10 favorite knives of all time on my list, which I'm going to be coming out with a video soon about. Are there opportunities for improvement? I am sorry guys, I can't think of anything on this knife that I would improve. It's almost the perfect knife. I love its artistic theme. It has the raptor eye with the beak kind of modified clip point blade. It is beautiful. The fit and finish are world class. I love the hardware too, the proprietary hardware that you can use a simple flathead screwdriver on. I think it's a great design, it's beautiful, and it's functionally great. And the pocket clip with the ceramic bumper pad, I love that too. So if you're looking for an EDC size knife with excellent fit and finish and a world-class South African smoothness of its action, I would recommend the Clyde Challenor Talon for you. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next lightest and best video.